Welcome back to Magoo's Reviews. All right, y'all. So there has been update on the Batman Forever Schumacher cut, right? So Joel Schumacher, before he passed away, he had a Schumacher cut of his film, and that they're saying that they were trying to push and everything like that. But unfortunately, he did pass away. Val Kilmer passed away earlier this year as well. So we lost both of those guys who were heavily involved, in the film. Of course, Schumacher was the director and Val Kilmer was Batman. But there was always, rumors and stuff like this that, hey man, this Schumacher cut exists. Kevin Smith has come out saying that he has seen it, that he has a copy of the film, and that the studio has it. It's just them willing to put the time and effort in there to push the film. Now we all know that I'm a big fan of the Zack Snyder Justice League. I think it's a very good movie, and I think it's absolutely disrespectful that Warner Brothers pushed that original Justice League instead of that one. You know what I'm saying? Now I know that's a whole story behind that, but the Snyder cut was way better than the Justice League that we got in theaters, right? Now, I'm interested to see what the Schumacher cut, because I'm old enough to remember Batman Forever when it came out in the theaters. I was probably about 8 years old when it came out, but I remember going to see it twice with my family. And it was a big deal having Robin in there, seeing Two-Face and the Riddler. The Batmobile was completely different because like I said, I'm old enough to remember, the Keaton movies. I remember going to see those, both of them. So it's something that has always been out there about the Schumacher cut. That it's a more darker film than the one that we got in theaters. The one we got in theaters was more lighthearted because of the backlash of Batman Returns and how dark that was, and Warner Brothers losing the McDonald's deal because of how dark the film was, and it was targeted towards children. Then boom, you kick Tim Burton out, you bring Joel Schumacher in and say, hey, we want to make toys, because back then toys was a thing, man. The 90s, it was all about the toys, man, all about the merchandising. So Batman Forever definitely knocked it out the park with that. But there was always word that, hey man, he made a darker film that was more psychological than the one we got, and that it exists. But come to find out, they were trying to have a screening of it. Warner Brothers stepped in and said, nah, that ain't happening. So yeah, this is coming from AV Club, pretty much talking about, hey, the Schumacher cut does exist, but Warner Brothers steps in. It says Warner Brothers puts kibosh on Batman Forever Schumacher cut screening. A Santa Monica video store was going to screen the extended version of Batman Forever, right? This dropped yesterday, the news dropped. So the comic book movie world is lousy for director's cuts. Ain't lying. There are the Donner cuts of Superman and Superman 2, a version of Daredevil with Coolio in it. I remember that. And of course the Snyder cut, which Warner Brothers paid $70 million to finish so that it could dump it on HBO Max. But as Suicide Squad fans wait for the Warner Brothers Discovery to invest money in David Ayer's cut, that's another thing. He's really pushing for that Ayer cut that I hear is way better than what the studio put out. That of 2016's Oscar winner, hype surrounding a mythical Schumacher cut of Batman Forever has grown. Alas, that one is going to stay locked in the Batcave a bit longer. Sad to say, man. Goes on to say, earlier this month, Cinephile Video in Santa Monica, California, playing a screening of the lost version, which supposedly includes Val Kilmer squaring off against a very big bat and an image that has haunted promotional photos for the film since the mid-90s. And I remember that picture when I was a kid, seeing it in a book, like, yo, this big old bat, like I'm thinking this man bat. But they were like, it's a more psychological, part of the film that was never put in the theaters because of Warner Brothers wanted the toys, so they really chopped up that movie like they did Suicide Squad, like they did Justice League. Man, Warner Brothers with DC, I tell you, man, good Lord, there needs to be a whole documentary on that. Anyway, man, it says, unfortunately, news of the screening had spread far enough to reach the water tower doorstep of Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, and the Maniacs, who promptly sent a legal request to the store. Our planned screening of Batman Forever has been canceled. An email from the store to its members. This follows a legal request from Warner Brothers regarding the rights to the version of the film we intended to show. While there was a free members-only event meant to celebrate a unique piece of film history, we respect the rights of studios and creators and have chosen to withdraw the event accordingly. The store did not immediately respond to requests from the AV Club for comment. So that's pretty much the end of the article. Now, as a fan, I want to see it. I want to see it. And here's my whole thing with Warner Brothers. You got HBO Max, bro. You got Max. You got this big streaming service that really, at the end of the day, kind of just The Last of Us is popping on there. But you got this big streaming service, man. Put these director's cuts on there, man. Like, draw attention to your streaming service. You know what I mean? Now, they probably don't want to look like fools because we all know they have messed up the DC property for years and years and years and years just with studio hands. That goes back to Again, like they said, the Donner Supermans, that goes back to Tim Burton's Batman. This isn't something new under the sun. People want to say, oh, it started with the Zack Snyder. No, Warner Brothers has always had an issue dipping their hands in DC. Like, that's always been there. And the fact of the matter is, to me, is like, hey, bro, you got Max, man. Put these movies on Max. Put these movies on Max. Like, let it draw more attention to your streaming service. And why not, bro? Like, what do you got to lose? What do you, I mean, literally, at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to make money. But if, like, man, hey, you make it, because like people saying, hey, the Snyder Cut did really good on Max, which I know it did. But at the same time, it's like, man, if you put like more promotion, like, hey, man, we got this extended cut of, the Schumacher cut. You got this we got this director's cut of, David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Now, like I said, they don't look like fools because of what they did behind the scenes. But if those are the better versions of those movies and you're just hiding them, behind the scenes, like, I think that does a huge disservice to the fans and to those characters. You know what I'm saying? Because forever those characters are like, oh man, these movies suck. But if there's a better version out there and you guys don't want to put it out, that's a huge disservice to the fans. But anyway, that's the news on the Schumacher cut. Warner Brothers sent the cease and desist real quick when they found out, hey, oh, y'all gonna air this? So, hey, man, that's what it is right now. We shall see. Hopefully, we do see it one day in the future. That's just my hope. Anyway, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hope everybody has a blessed day. I'll see y'all soon. Have a good one.